10 Facts About Spain. Famous destination for travelers in search of the sun, Spain is a country with an offbeat style compared to its neighbors. This quirkiness is a good thing for the country's economy, as it seems to make its tourism success, with almost 80 million people welcomed in 2019. Beyond the bullfighting and tapas, there is a whole culture that is just waiting to be discovered. Why don't we take a little tour of Spain today? Don't worry about a thing, we'll manage from start to finish, giving you a taste of Spain's heritage through the 10 unusual facts about this country. But before we start the first fact, we remind you that the best way to support us is to like this video and subscribe to Four Corners Facts. If you like this type of video, consider sharing it with your friends and family so they too can learn about Spain. Here goes! Number 1. A different pace of life. This first fact is probably already known to those who have had a chance to travel to Spain. For the others, you might be surprised. The rhythm of life of the Spanish population is completely different from that of other Europeans. They mostly have lunch between 1 and 3 p.m., dinner around 10 p.m., and rarely go to bed before the early hours of the night. This lifestyle is reflected in the activity of television viewers. The peak viewing time for Spanish television begins at 10 p.m. and lasts until after 1 a.m. The same is true for radio, where the peak time is in the morning, around 10 a.m. On the other hand, Spaniards are the biggest and most assiduous radio users in Europe. Habits just don't break. Number 2. Festivities at any time of the day. The atmosphere of the country corresponds well to its warm climate. There is no more festive country than Spain. You could go there any time of year and be sure that there's a celebration of some kind is taking place somewhere in the country. Each municipality is associated with its own patron saint. The inhabitants celebrate with festivities, which can sometimes last several days. Thus, there are as many more festivals in Spain as there are days in the year. And none of these festivities are the same, although they consist of getting together for a convivial meeting and dancing. The traditions of some villages are really their own. For example, in the town of Castrillo de Murcia, the festival is sublimated by the activity of baby jumping. To put it simply, a man from the village dresses in a red and yellow suit supposedly representing the devil, and jumps over babies placed on a mattress. This tradition dates back to 1620 and is carried on every year. Number 3. The Murderous Statue. You heard right, there is a fearsome statue in Spain, or rather there was, because this one has been completely redone. We are referring here to the statue of Philip III, who is none other than the King of Spain from 1598 to 1621. Created in his honor in 1616, this statue is located in the Plaza Mayor, a famous square in the capital, and it represents the glorious king on his horse. You may ask, what's wrong with this statue? Well, very few people are aware that for years and years, it was a real bird cemetery. The birds, which flew over the square, ended up going inside the statue, through the horse's mouth. The problem was that because of the narrow neck of the animal on this structure, all the birds that entered it got stuck inside. This situation was ignored for a long time, until a bomb partially destroyed the statue during the Second Republic. It was then that this great surprise was discovered and the statue contained over 100 dead birds. Fortunately, the statue was restored once the Civil War was over, and the builders took care to close the mouth of the horse so that the birds could no longer enter. Number 4. The oldest restaurant in the world. According to the Guinness Book of World Records, the oldest restaurant still in operation in the world is the Sobrino de Botín. This restaurant was built in 1725 in the center of the capital of Madrid. In addition to being known for its extraordinary longevity, it has won a number of awards and prizes for the quality of its traditional Madrid cuisine. According to Forbes magazine, Botín is ranked 3rd in the world's top 10 traditional restaurants, thanks to 2 of its specialties, suckling pig and roast lamb Castilian style. The Sobrino de Botín has therefore become a must for any visitor to Madrid, if only for its storefront and its historic architectural style. The most popular hotels in Madrid are also located in the same area. Number 5. Language conflicts. To say that the language of Spain is Spanish is a terrible misnomer. Most of the time, people refer to this language as Spanish, but in reality, they're most likely speaking Castilian. In total, 4 languages are classified as official in this country: Catalan, Basque, Galician, and Castilian, which we mentioned earlier. There are, however, 3 other languages that are used in particular regions that are therefore not classified as official: Asturian, Aragonese, and Aranese. Finally, there are several other dialects that vary from these very same languages, such as Andalusian, Valencian, etc. So you have to understand that not all Spaniards are native speakers of Castilian. For years now, education bills have sought to make the practice of Castilian compulsory in every school in the country, in order to standardize its linguistics trend. However, this has led to conflicts between regions and other minority communities that refuse to give up their original language. In general, television broadcasts are subtitled, as the linguistic differences can be so broad. Number 6. An important sense of ownership. In Spanish customs, owning one's own home is a very important aspect of the household. It is estimated that about 80% of Spanish households own their own homes. This is one of the highest rates in Europe. Of these homeowners, 65% live in apartments, and once again, this is the highest percentage in the entire European Union. But the Spanish records don't stop there. They also have the highest proportion of second homes in the EU. This country is one of the least affected by overcrowding issues, with a population of 47 million. Its inhabitants benefit greatly. Since the beginning of the 2000s, Spain has built more housing per capita than any other European country. 750,000 new homes have been built throughout the country, which is more than Germany, France, and Italy combined. Number 7. The true origin of omelets. The omelette, as we know it and cook it in France, actually comes from the Hispanic culture. Its origins date back to the beginning of the 19th century in the province of Cadiz, which was under siege by the French army at the time. It is said that this occupation by the French forces led to a shortage of food, but also of basic raw materials for cooking such as potatoes or vegetables. To continue to feed themselves, the inhabitants, many of whom owned chickens, had the idea of using their eggs. This is when the idea of preparing plain omelets with nothing but eggs became popular. At number 8, the largest production of olive oil. While we're on the subject of food, let's keep the momentum going. In general, Mediterranean countries have extremely rich and fruitful olive yields, which they use to make oil. They are therefore, without a doubt, the largest producers of olive oil in the world, ensuring no less than 75% of world production. But did you know that among them, Spain is a country that stands out? It produces more than 1.5 million tons of olive oil every year, the vast majority of which comes from the Andalusia region. Finally, Spain alone represents 41% of the world's olive oil production. Number 9. A short zip-line trip. From Spain to Portugal, there is only one step, or a rope. As surprising as it may seem, it is possible to make this trip by zip-line. The departure is in Andalusia, more precisely in the town of Sanlúcar de Guadiana. Known as the zero-limit zipline, this particular attraction will make you land in the municipality of Alcotam, Portugal, in not even a minute. This minimum time is possible thanks to the speed of the device that can go up to 70 kilometers an hour. We can add the fact that it is a record shared between the two countries, since this zipline is the first cross-border zipline to be installed in the world. And at number 10, exemplary beaches. To conclude this list of interesting facts about Spain, we suggest you enjoy the landscape a little. Not to mention the fact that the country has some of the most beautiful landscapes in the world, ranging from mountains to countryside to deserts. Let's focus on the beaches of the Spanish coastline though. The Spanish coasts have about 600 beaches that have received a blue flag label. Created in 1985 to encourage progress and ecological efforts, the Blue Flag is an eco-label that testifies to the environmental quality of natural places. Thus, we can say that the Spanish beaches are really exemplary and give a hard time to other competing destinations. And that's it for this video of 10 interesting facts about Spain. Did you learn anything? If so, remember to put a blue thumb and tell us which fact stood out to you in the comment area. Also, tell us if you've ever traveled to Spain and tell us other stories that happened to you. Finally, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and activate the notification bell to be notified of our activity. And that's it for today from Four Corners Facts. We'll see you soon for a new video.